all right. What's good, world? Welcome back to yet another broadcast of Talking That Talk official podcast. I'm your co-host, King Exodus, aka X.
What's going on, world? It's your boy Juice, aka The Ordinary Brother, aka Rising Pharaoh.
All right, and as always, man, we appreciate everybody that's locked into the channel. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Shouts out to everybody that's tuning in via IG Live. All right, so topic we got on the table today is something that's not as funny, but vital to real life. We're talking about actions speak louder than words, okay? Not to shit on words. Words are powerful. Words transmit frequencies. Words have etymologies, and they are important, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of people focus more so on talk than actual work. And that's the focal point of the conversation. So to kick it off, the first area to tap into would be procrastination. Okay? A lot of people talk about what they gonna do, what they want to do, what they dream of doing, but never make it manifest into reality. And that can be because of a lack of motivation, inspiration, dedication, obsession, discipline. All right? You feel me? So you have to have a lot of those traits in order to back up your words when it comes to what you want to manifest out of life. But a lot of people are so complacent with talking about it that's the arousal that they get instead of actually accomplishing the goal. I had a homie back in the day, and he used to always do shit like, yeah, man, I'm gonna get this tattoo here, and then I'm gonna get this to connect with this, and then I'm gonna get this here. Still to this day, nothing there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you can't even connect the own dots on your arm, how can you connect the dots within your life? You know what I'm saying? It's like, whatever you visualize in your brain, you become the magician, the alchemist, if you can make that shit into a reality, because only you had that vision within your brain. And then some people fear failing so much that they never put forth the actions behind their words, because then they don't want people to look at them like a failure. So you have multiple reasons as to why people procrastinate. Before I get too deep into it, what you got on procrastination? You can start the
Procrastination is terrible. Like it's one podcast we brought up procrastination a little bit. Just remember, the longer you wait, the longer it takes. That's a quick quote right there. Remember that: the longer you wait, the longer it takes. And sometimes the longer you wait, sometimes you might not be able to do anything. So always seize the moment when it comes to situations like that, right? I've been reprogramming my mind this whole year, and I got to, like I said, I let some old habits resurface in my life, which I know, which was one of those time periods I had a lot of things getting executed, and there's new habits I formed. One of my old habits was, if I don't feel like doing it, I gotta do it. That's one of the easiest things, right? So one of the main things is just getting back in that gym discipline as one, right? I set up where I stay to a point where basically I'm gonna have to pass the gym in order to get home. So imagine the fact, like,
you in the back streets.
Hey, ain't no back streets, man. I take the same route to get home every day, bro. I gotta pass that gym, but you know what I'm saying? And it's just right there, like sitting in your face. You ever had like that homeless person by your window just staring at you? That's what it feel like. Like, if I want to procrastinate, that's what it feel like to be. Like a homeless person just staring at my window, just waiting. Be like, yo, what you gonna do? Like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta get rid of procrastination. Like I said, procrastination will end your destination.
Wow.
You know, I'm gonna go ahead and go there with that one time, man.
And see, it's powerful that you brought up the gym, because a lot of people ask me a shitload of questions about fitness, right? And I play the game, you know, I answer questions, but sometimes in the back of my brain, I be like, this motherfucker wasting my time, because they ain't gonna never go, you feel me? And me personally, sometimes I could have between 10 and 12 work hour days, a shitload of tasks to do when I get home, and I could really just body wise and mentally wise just be drained. But I envision where I want to be physically and how I incorporate that mental toughness within getting over that obstacle of not feeling energized to go to the gym, body already in pain. So I have this philosophy of combating pain with pain. Mathematically, two negatives in math and multiplication can make a positive. So I take the same mentality to the gym. I know if I can go to the gym, if the odds are already stacked against me, and I can put stress on myself personally, I can implement that in the real world and deal with stress that's going to come that I have no control over.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So I can tell the difference within people, you know what I'm saying, based on how they talk about how they want to look and how they want to be in shape. And then when it come down to it, they have every excuse on the planet as to why they can't either do something at the gym or do something at home.
Mm-hmm.
So business-wise, I already know I can't fuck with you. Because if you just can't do something as simple as that for yourself, how can you, you know what I'm saying, show up and perform when the odds are stacked against you in the business world? It just really don't work like that. Most people that you see that's successful at a certain level of business, they implement that level of success in other areas of their life.
Correct.
Whether it's the gym or being sociable or whatever the case be, reading books. Some people have long days, but they like, look, I know that I need to learn new information daily, so I'm gonna still take out 30 minutes of my time just to read. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just 30 minutes, fuck it, I'm gonna make those 30 minutes count. Mm-hmm. So that goes back to the philosophy of success is only measured based on the person that's trying to succeed. Reading 2 pages a day can be successful for an individual. Mm-hmm. And then you have some person that's like, look, I gotta read 20 pages. Or it's not to say that neither person is more successful than the other on that accomplishment, because you set your own goals. Small successes lead up to the feeling of being successful. And then when you get into the state of being successful, now a set series of events can take place, which is the succession. You feel me? So you have to get into the process of thinking successfully. Set small goals for yourself, accomplish those goals, feel the aura of being successful, and now you can do bigger things. Kobe did an interview, and he was like, nobody could just climb Mount Everest and just think, shit, this is Mount Everest. You have to take it day by day, you know what I'm saying, step by step. You have to break it down, make it smaller, and then you get to the top of Mount Everest.
Correct.
He was like, in his running, sometimes if he got to run numerous miles, sometimes he'll look down at his feet and not look up to see how far he's gotten within the run, because psychologically he's tricking himself into actually being more progressive by not focusing on the focal point 100%. So what I'm saying is, man, set your own goals to success. Take small steps, you know what I'm saying? Don't always try to take the biggest steps possible, because that requires a lot more energy.
Right. So I'm gonna backdoor off what he just said right now. You have some of y'all that be like, yo, I'm gonna make $1 million. Hey, yo, have you made like 50K yet? Have you made 100K yet?
Have you made $100?
like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta like people overlook that a lot. Like the smallest things always matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Small goals can get you to your end goal. Small change can eventually become a lot of change. So everything counts in what you do now and towards the end. Like he said, even with Mount Everest, Mount Kilimanjaro is the same way. Like you definitely got to take days to actually go to the top. And that's why I said, like, imagine like you're climbing and you're like, you know what, we're supposed to get moving today, but I don't feel like moving today. When it starts setting in stone, you might not even move forward no more. You might actually just be like, all right, man, I got to this point though, but you know, that's good enough. And then people ask you like, yo, was you on Mount Kilimanjaro? Like, yeah. Did you go to the top? Like, nah, man. I was like, almost there. And then I was just like, I didn't feel like doing it no more. And this is what y'all got to remember. Like, even with climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, you got to have a guide and all that. So imagine if your guide has prepared himself for you and everybody in the group, and they pretty much only do that with groups. They don't really do that individually. Like, there's some people that are trained that can do it individually, but actually climbing that mountain is in groups. So imagine that one person who don't want to do anything he might fuck around and this, basically displace the whole group because he don't want to progress no more. And that's another thing that sometimes you might be in the wrong group, and that's why you're not progressing. If everybody in that group is progressing but you, it might really be you. But if you're progressing and that group's not progressing, hey, keep moving forward. Sometimes you got to leave people behind in order to get them motivated, right? Like one of my favorite things is what Snoop Dogg had said. He said it was like what do you call it, like a success ladder or something, right? It was basically saying like, as I keep climbing, I couldn't keep reaching back down. You know what I'm saying? Eventually gets to a point where your homies will eventually climb up, or sometimes you got to leave it behind. And the fact that we all start in the same opportunity level is what kills me sometimes when people hate on the person that keeps going higher and higher. That's just like in your workforce, when we always talk about people to be like, oh man, you a manager now, you know where you came from, man. Hey man, shut the fuck up. It's like nobody wants to see people make progress. People don't want to see people make progress. And like being an adult and maturing doesn't come with getting to the top, right? You gotta look at, no matter how you look at rappers, you can tell them, some of them have very powerful work ethics. Work ethics is everything, right? That's what we say, actions speak louder than words, right? There's people right now calling themselves the best rapper and everything. We're like, yo, we ain't never heard of you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let your work speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? It goes in any profession, whether it's basketball, football, career path. Like, imagine somebody who keep on saying, man, I've been here 10 years, I do everything here, I don't get progress. But then you line them up to the people that made progress, you're like, oh, shoot, you didn't want to step up. You got to really observe situations like that. And one thing that X had said a long time ago is like, hey, you might be feeling like your work ethics are the reason why you're not progressing, but really they might be looking for somebody who can communicate, right? You might have to work it all hard 7 days a week, and they're like, no, we need somebody who can communicate to these people effectively in order to make them progress. That's why there's like, when it came to generals and commanders and armies and militaries, some of them will be on that front line. All right, man, we better go over there. We gotta go kick some ass. Everybody gets rounded up. All the men go out there to fight. What if I told you not every general and commander actually went to the fight, but they just was there to get them rounded up?
Man,
that's how effective communication can be. So,
on that group shit, man, most definitely very powerful. You always have to remember your network is your net worth. And a lot of times people don't realize in order to be successful, you got to shed a lot of dead weight. I love some of my family members to death, people that I'm close to, but I know I can't really talk to you every day because the vibrations are different. The energy is different, so the conversation is going to be different. And I don't want to leave the conversation feeling like I'm drained. You know what I'm saying? Especially maybe more so during the week because that's grind mode. So I need conversations that's gonna boost my energy versus do the opposite. So a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, just because you start with a group, it don't mean you're gonna finish with that same group. And if you do finish with that same group, hey, that's very powerful. That means that was a very great group to begin with. That means everybody progressed, maybe not equally in the same ways, but equally opposite. You feel me?
That says a lot.
Yeah, so you don't be fearful of the number one source of energy that you owe is your own. You owe most of your time to yourself if you can make it that way. We all know everybody got to work. People are parents. People, they maintain different roles throughout life. But you owe yourself more than to just drain yourself out by playing all these roles to everybody else. You have to focus on yourself. I know a lot of great people right now in their current lives that don't even give themselves 30 minutes a day to do anything. And when I ask them, hey, are you doing certain things that I know you like to do and certain things that you need to do to progress? The response is the same. No, I'm overwhelmed. In my personal life, I'm overwhelmed with this. You feel me? So you have to make time for yourself. in order to not procrastinate. Because every person that's a procrastinator is not a bullshitter. Some people just don't know how to multitask between their personal life and what I like to call a progressive life. The life that you envision and the life that you're trying to manifest.
Right.
So me personally, hey, if I gotta take some caffeine, whatever I gotta do to give me a little extra boost throughout the day, to add to my time throughout the day, I'm gonna do it. Some people wake up at 4 in the morning to make their day longer so they have more time than the average person. I know we've all heard the 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. theories to success. But at the same time, you have to sleep, you have to rest in order to make that possible. So,
I mean, like they say, my favorite thing they say is, you want to be successful, you have to wake up earlier and stay up later. Pick your choice. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, right? So I'm going to give like 2 examples when he was talking about the progress in groups, right? I don't know if y'all remember the movie called Sandlot, right? Sandlot was basically some kids in the neighborhood, they all played baseball. As they all got older, only one of them made it to the pros. But they all kept in contact with each other, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what I said, like, everybody makes progress, but some progress is going to be higher than others. And there was also this post I read on Facebook, man, I'm reading it, and it was powerful, right? It was 6 friends, no, 9 of them, 9 friends that grew up together. They all stayed 2 hours apart, but they all go back to their hometown once a month just to play basketball. That's their way of keeping in contact. Like, hey, we're all making progress. We all have to move in different areas. We all got wives. We all got kids or anything like that. But they respect each other, you know, and have that mutual thing. No matter what, how high one gets, how low one gets, they still have that friendship and bond. So I thought that was some powerful shit right there, you know. But more so, even get back on the subject, action speaks louder than words. You got to remember, sometimes no action is still action. We got no response is still a response. So we got to keep that in mind as we move throughout our days, right? So you can talk about how bad you want it. Somebody be like, you ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing, like, to get yourself riled up and get your emotions in it and then not ever do anything, right? That's why some people are only made, can only speak from a passionate point, but can't work from a passionate point, right? They have their visions and goals that make you feel it. Leave that room next day, yeah, man, I'm tired, man. Like, it's crazy that some people can go through so much pain and never want to push out of the pain. I don't know, I never enjoyed pain like that, right? The only time I enjoy pain is when I work out. Muscle sore, body gets sore, I'm getting stronger. That's all I know. As soon as I heal up, I'm getting stronger, right? So if you're in a mental pain or physically in some type of financial strain, and you just sit there, it doesn't make sense, right? That's why I always talk about the cookie jar, right? David Goggins. Sometimes you gotta tap into some of those memories to make you move forward, right? And as we get older, I notice if somebody brings up like your past or things that you have said, such as, hey, I thought you was gonna be a doctor. Hey, I thought you was gonna do this. Hey, I thought you was doing this. Y'all get so mad about somebody trying to put you back on track with what you said. I don't understand that. Y'all get so offended. Well, life happens.
Let's see where you be at.
Let's see where you be at
in 2 years.
You know what I'm saying? I had shit happen, man. Hey, look, I'm just telling you what you told us. Like, hey, look. I said I was gonna do it, but you know, hey, look, man, like, y'all gotta stop that.
Powerful. One thing I hate is the that's not enough mentality. A person wanna run their own business, right? Ground up, all right? But they like, look, I'ma only make $100. That ain't no money. And I'm like, it's $100 more than what you got now, motherfucker. Like, how do you know what it's gonna feel like to make $1 million off your business if you never even made you don't know what it feels like to make your first 100. So some people only want to invest their time into their goals and visions if they feel like it pays them adequate enough.
Yeah, they're so focused on the long run and not what it takes to build it up.
Right. So some people be like, I've heard this so many times out of my life, that ain't no money. You feel me? And it's like, okay, well, cool. I don't know no person in the legal world or illegal world that didn't start from the bottom. You feel me? Like you
all started from the fucking bottom.
You have to start from the bottom. No one starts off being nowhere near the iconic levels that they at. You feel me? So I feel like success, people have a lack of education when it comes to success. They don't understand the nuances of success, the beginning stages. You feel me? They only pick up on the port on Google where they look at the net worth and the pictures and the shit that they're doing now. They skip over the part. One time I brought up Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A actually is a company that's rebranded that dates back to the 60s, I believe. Mm-hmm. Like it's that old. Mm-hmm. And they rebranded, named themselves Chick-fil-A, and now they're just now popping within the 2000s, late 2000s. And that just goes to show you, you have to make the necessary steps towards success. And a lot of people really just don't have the patience to be successful. They want everything right now. They have a microwave mentality towards life. If they can't make enough money that they feel is adequate enough, they won't even invest into a proposition. Whether it's a entrepreneurship, a job. I know a lot of people with no job that won't get a job because that job don't pay enough for them. But you don't have a job right now, so you have zero income, but the job that can give you a income is not enough income. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that shit be ass backwards. How much they pay? Nah,
yeah, how much they pay?
How much they pay?
You on somebody's couch and you talking about how much they pay. Motherfucker, I don't think you have that option right now.
You don't have that option right now.
I need
just
you off that couch. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's the people that be on their couch like, you know, hey, look, we go back to childhood. You got to, hey, look, man, you got a month to make something happen, bro.
And now I'm the bad guy.
You're the bad guy because you got to kick him out.
Because I owe you my couch. Like, I got to go to work and work my job that I don't always like. People, I don't know why people always think you like your job, but they don't, you know what I'm saying? They the only people that don't like some shit. You know what I'm saying? So I got to go out there, be responsible just to provide. You get options and more opportunities than anybody else, right? So sometimes I think that's a problem. Some people think they too privileged in life. Mm-hmm. And privilege don't come from privilege. A lot of people don't have an opportunity, what they say, a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, but they still feel privileged to life as well. It's very fucking confusing to me how people come from nothing but still got every excuse and option out there, more so than the people that's probably privileged.
Shit, man. Let me go ahead and tell you the story of Gilly the Kid. That's a perfect example. Mm-hmm. Gilly the Kid came in a rap game, right, making a little buzz. 50 was like, you know what, he got something. Mm-hmm. Tried to bring him to the industry. Mm-hmm. He played him a song. He played one of the ARs a song. He was like, who's this dude? He's like, hey, his name's Gilly. You know, he kind of new to the rap game. He was like, hey, but I'm a co-sign. This is when 50 is hot. Y'all gotta remember, this is when 50 is hot. Mm-hmm. You get co-signed by certain people. All right, we believe you. Right? He said, hey, all right, 50 goes back, talks to Gilly. Hey, this is how much they're gonna offer you, and this is just based off your single. Your single, not your album. Just that one single.
Because 50 was going to pretty much produce the album.
He was going to produce the album, be there with him, his teacher, his mentor, and help him get off the floor. He said, nah, I need $1 million. Nobody even knows who you are. He's like, hey,
still to this day.
Still to this day. Mm-hmm. Goes back. 50 goes back. He's like, hey, can Gilly's asking for this much, this and that. He's like, hey man, we're putting our all into him. We don't even know him. This is based off one song that you're bringing to the table. You know what? Here, we'll ante it up for a little bit. Ante it up a little bit. Goes back to him again. Nah, man, it ain't $1 million. I don't want to sign because this is the thing. He saw what another person had got when they signed and compared his talents to that talent, already believing he's better than them. And Gilly only got known to this very day off of podcasting, not the rapper he could have been. That's the crazy part. Some of y'all are comparing y'all talents to other people, and you're not even in the fucking field. You got to be in the field. You got to display. That's why I told a chick the other day. She was like, "Yeah, you know my baby can play basketball, this and that." I said, "Okay, let's line up with some other people." that kid got crushed. And I didn't want to say nothing. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you got to remember, what you see in one individual until it's time to come for performance is two completely different things. Right? You got the biggest things that's going on right now with Sha'Carri and Usain Bolt. He said, hey,
talk less, work more.
He said, talk less, work more. Hey, you keep talking, but you're not backing none of that up.
Right.
And she's so, it's crazy that she plays like the victim mentality, but still want to talk shit at the same time. That's weird. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't get you nowhere, right? And if nobody can put their foot in your ass and make you realize what you're doing, like, you deserve to be left in the dust. You deserve to fumble everything. Fumble the bag. Fuck it. And this is why progress is never made on certain people's accounts, because then they just get to run in their mouth. Another person, they talk about Charles Barkley, one of the best basketball players ever. But he kept running, and they always talk about, hey, you ran your mouth and never won a ring, though. You gotta be able to perform better than how your mouth is being ran.
Man. All right, so a key word he brought up, and I think that's a kryptonite for people, is talent. Talent means shit in the real world. It could get you so far, but that's not the basis of it. Michael Jordan, I'm pretty sure, was not the best player ability-wise all the time. There are plenty Michael Jordans that you probably never heard of and never seen.
And never will.
Because they made the terrible decisions or choices in life to not get them to that potential level. So talent without work ethic is pretty much like what the Bible says, faith without actions is dead. Key in that you always see actions in order to implement something into reality, whether it's through faith, belief, what we're talking about, sports, anything in life, you have to have the actions behind it to make that shit a reality. So going back to the whole sports scenario, talent can cripple a lot of people because it praises the ego. I know a lot of people that are just comfortable with their ego so much that no matter what their bank account say, they still can hold their head up high and live a normal life.
I don't know why I laugh, but that's hilarious.
And it's confusing because I'm like, what the bank account say? But they like, but I'm still this and I'm that and I got this gift and I know this and that's fine. But where can you take that? In real life? Nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people become complacent with talent, but talent can also be developed or lost. You're not just, even if you're naturally talented at something, it's still someone that can outdo you by their work ethic, their practice. You know what I'm saying? When I was in the boxing real heavy, somebody told me, hey, remember, while you're asleep, somebody else is training. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you think about yourself. When you sleeping, somebody else is training. You know what I'm saying? And that applies to everything in life. Whether it's physical, cerebral, whatever the case is. Right. Somebody is always training while you're sleeping. And another part of this conversation I want to bring up is some people celebrate too early.
I'll bring that person back up. Sha'Carri
smell a little bit success, and then all of a sudden they become a little complacent because the ego is tickled, and now the work ethic fades away. And that goes back to the basis. You have to have the discipline in order to keep your ultimate goal in mind. If I say, hey, with this podcast, I want 1 million followers. Okay, cool. I get 100, cool. I get 1,000, cool. You know what? 10,000, great. 20,000. You know what, man? Hey, look, we ain't really got to record that much during the week, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, I fall off.
He gonna get fired.
The focal point was 1 million. You know what I'm saying? So anything less than that would be a failure. So you got to hold yourself accountable even to yourself. I think that's a problem that most people don't have when it comes to talent, you know?
Okay. Oh, I believe we had an episode over there. You got to remember, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? Some of these people have the most talent in the world and get outshined by people that work harder than them, right?
Look at 2 Chainz, man. No, I seen Young Thug freestyle today, man. I was like, oh my God. I know a nigga at the corner store that can do better than that.
That's the call.
But his
With some
work,
MD 2020.
but his work ethic and marketing and everything else, and you know what I'm saying, we don't even know how many times a day this guy practices, records, and everything else. So it's always a reason why people are where they are, even if they lack the talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Work ethic is everything. That's what did it say, Lil Baby on the Wayne under my generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta remember, like, all that came into play, right? And then you have some people who just believe in just working, period, like days and nights through. I remember I was reading something on Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
They said Beyonce was so dedicated to working, sometimes she'll work 70 hours straight, like forget to go to sleep and eat. I was like, God damn.
Yes,
I was like,
yes.
y'all understand, like, that's when you get into the zone period, right? I used to get into the zone period when I was a kid, right? The zone period is when you are completely focused on what you're doing in front of you, that nothing else fucking matters, right? Nothing else matters, right? I used to, when I was a big gamer, when I was a child, me and my homeboy sat up 48 hours straight playing video games. His dad came in the room like, hey, y'all, get out, man. Hey, get out, man. Hey, get out, man. Like, this is why I got like some bags under my eyes, bro. Like, I was a straight guy. Like, we'd be zoned in. We didn't want you to come in. Like, no, look. The only time we left the game rules when we had to piss. That's piss and shit. Went right back to playing games, right? You have some people that are that laser focused when it comes to their actions. Nothing else matters. You got to learn how to tap into that zone where a person want to take you out. Hey, look, I'm focused. Somebody wants to do this with you, I'm focused. Mm-hmm. Once you tap into that zone, nothing else matters because the end results will be produced, right? Mm-hmm. That's why I always say, hey, sacrifice a year, you might be, 5 years ahead after that. But nobody really looks at it like, damn, a whole year I gotta just focus. I don't know about that. Man, look, I done tapped into zone periods for a year and I've seen tremendous progress on my end. Even just the fact of me wanting to accept a different business concept at one point, my maturity level rose. The way I talk even rose. The fact that I could understand a different language when it came to business, like Net 30 and people talk about this and that. I understood the language that was once Spanish to me. Like, you know, I was like, like, imagine that, that's what they said, like, you go to Starbucks sometimes and listen to $1 million conversations, but if you don't know business language, you know what the fuck going on. You're like, yeah, man, these people just go in suits and they just be talking, like, hey, did you not hear he said he's about to make an acquisition? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's times you could jump in on opportunities like that, but like I said, you got to be zoned into the work of learning, right? I got my card pulled one time when I was studying some business. When a dude was just like, hey man, you just kind of just know the terms, but you're not going to really just do the work. You know what I'm saying? That's why people be like, oh, you can talk the part, but can you play the part? And when people realize you talk, they don't want to fucking be around you. That's why when people were like, oh, I did an upload with Kevin Sanders who was talking like, avoid cheap motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. And the people that commented with some of my homeboys, they're like, nah, man, like, I don't want to pay too much for this or that. If that's what it takes to be rich, I don't feel like that's it. I like, man, y'all missed the whole completely different thing, bro. Y'all missed the whole thing. What he's saying is avoid cheap motherfuckers who don't want to make progress or who just rely on you for their success or for their opportunities, right? That's why, like, when we go out, if we go out, there's a difference between a person who always offers and a person who always just fucking there to accept, right? When you go out with your boys, you're supposed to be a man. Don't be the bitch just that want to accept everything that comes your way. That's why some people be like, yo, don't bring that person around no more. Right. Hey, y'all wonder why, like, yo, I ain't see so. They don't tell you. They're not gonna tell you, like, hey, they told us not to bring you around. They're gonna let them know, because it's better to be the person who offers than the person who never offers. You don't think they know when leeches are around?
Motherfucker. Yeah, so going back to that childhood thing, a lot of times people allow the real world to cripple them. All right, so when you're a child, you tap into what they call a theta wave frequency. Mm-hmm. That's the mind state that your imagination is reality. you could try to fight maybe like a little cousin or something, and they could be doing like little moves and shit, like they're superheroes and shit. That is,
Power Rangers one.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Power Rangers
they are so tapped into that theta wave frequency that that's the state of mind that you want to have as an adult. You want to be able to tap into that same frequency, that your imagination is that much more powerful than reality, or you can make it reality. But some people just get beat up so much about real life that they forget what it is to have an imagination. You go to Think and Grow Rich, you have the synthetic creativity, and then you actually have the creativity that is the thought. So you have one that produces the action, one that produces the thought. You need both to work in order to manifest. So always dream, always have an imagination. When you stop dreaming, sometimes you have to remember that you stopped living.
Huh? Say that again?
When you stop dreaming, you have to remember sometimes that you stopped living. If you can't set standards for yourself and envision yourself in higher positions, you will never get to those positions. You only can acquire what you can think about and envision. So if you can't see $1 million, you will never touch $1 million. You have to see it first.
Envision.
All right. So, and then I want to bring up beginning stages once again. Beginning stages are the most painful things sometimes because you don't really know what's on the end of that journey. But a lot of people never start the fucking journey
At all.
You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people that have great ideas. They could have been scholars, authors, whatever the case be, but they never put this shit into any type of action, any type of play. So I think another thing that should be discussed more so is the criticism. If you cannot be criticized, you ain't gonna be shit. You have to be able to take criticism and failure and transmutate the energy into a positive. But if you can't handle constructive criticism, you would never make it. You need that kind of criticism. Kendrick Lamar did an interview one time and he was like, look, when I make music, I play it for the female friends that I have that's straight hood rats. That's just, because they're going to tell you the truth. No matter what, they're going to tell you the truth. If somebody stink in a room, a lot of people can be like, they can look at each other and be like, that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But that one ghetto girl will come in the room and be like, y'all don't smell that shit? That motherfucker over there. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna let it be known what's going on. So he like, look, I use that same energy with my music. And I'm Kendrick Lamar. But I take it back to the gutter, you know what I'm saying, to get the correct critique that I need, you know what I'm saying, so I know exactly what I'm doing. So you have to be able to take that criticism. I know a lot of people that could be 10 times greater if they could just listen to what they're doing wrong.
Look, let me give y'all an example right now of what he just said. The fight with Jake Paul and Woodley, that was a grand example. During those rounds, his trainer kept on saying, Woodley, hey look, you gotta watch out for this. Hey Woodley, you gotta get caught. Woodley, you gotta. He didn't want to listen.
I'm Woodley.
He didn't want to listen.
Woodley, baby.
So even though people like Woodley won that fight, I said, nah, bro. I even watched that closely. I would give it to Jay, because he shook it off, kept his distance, and kept doing what he do. So remember during the whole showdown performance, they talking right, like yeah, I'm a professional. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I can't lie. Jake showed up, bro. Jake showed up like X admitted. Like some people would really admit, like, yo, he showed up.
Yeah,
regardless,
he got something.
He showed up against a person who pitched out of the professional. Like you go through the time of here. See, that's the thing, bro. Like no matter how people want to talk about Jake and him being an amateur, I'm sorry if the dude is still whooping people. Like, there's nothing you can say. There's nothing you can do about it, bro. That's like no matter how entertaining he is, it's really showing you work ethics, bro. That is showing you pure work ethics. That even though he talks shit, he's backing it up in every fight. But nobody want to give him his credit because he's an arrogant white boy. I'm like, nah, bro. If anything, he's like the YouTube Conor McGregor right now, bro. He's a YouTube Conor McGregor. Talk a whole lot of shit. It's just winning right now. He ain't lost yet, so anything can happen. But that direct criticism come into play. Like even myself, at one point in time, coaches used to tell me how to better myself. He's like, man, fuck all that shit, right? And then when I think about it, I was like, yo, you know what? I feel like I could have been a way better player than what it is. You know what I'm saying? But my mouth, they got me put down on the bench a couple of times. I had to sit out a game another time because I didn't feel like, yo, man, what the fuck you telling me for, right? Even my baseball season at Sterling High School, in my mind, I was just like, man, I'm better than all these niggas, bro. Like, and that was my mindset because everything I was watching them getting used to, I got taught that at middle school and elementary, even the way pitches was coming at us. But even so, no matter how good I was, I still couldn't take direct criticism, right? I even substituted for a position I never played for, which is catcher, just so we get some momentum on the team. Like, fuck it, man. If I gotta be in a new position, like, fuck it. Like, I want to really get this thing going. But at the same time, my mouth they got me in situations I had to sit down on the bench or at school, argue with other players. Like, it's crazy like that. You gotta be able to accept that. That's why when people talk about Kevin Samuels, he talk about he's a life coach. Bro, coaches are not your friends, bro. And that's why people gotta remember that your coach, your mentors can be your friend down the line, but you can't take shit personal that what they say. I would take it personal. That was my biggest fallouts when it came to progression as an athlete. I would take things so personal and be like, fuck this motherfucker. I was like, you know what I'm saying? So now that I'm older, it's just like, yo, you gotta take it and roll with it and make progress that way, you know?
Yeah. So the key word that you brought up was credit. And some of you motherfuckers is so indulged with credit, you want credit for the progress that you're making, and the world does not owe you that.
Not at all.
You know what I'm saying? You can have whatever thing you have going on. You don't have to see the credit from other people in order to know that you're doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of businesses that did not pop until 10 years minimum later. Mm-hmm. You have millionaires, gurus that didn't fully reach their goal until they was 50 years old.
Shit, let me give you one right now. Grant Cardone. Y'all just start hearing about that dude, bro.
Right.
Like, in the last couple years, y'all just start hearing about Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone said he didn't even hit his level till he was in his 40s, 50s.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But now that he's on top of the world, everybody's like, oh man, he did it easy. He said, bro, this didn't take, I was in my 40s when it finally happened.
Right. And some people implement this same mentality even into relationships. Mm-hmm. You want so much credit in order to feel validated that validation becomes your high. Mm-hmm. Fuck your validation.
Right.
You validate yourself. If you know you're worth something, and if you know you add and contribute these kind of things to people's lives, society, whatever the case be, you first have to realize that in order for it to be realized or accepted to anybody else. Whatever you want to happen within your personal life, you first have to envision it. Mm-hmm. If you don't find value within yourself, you're going to look for validation in negative places because you lack the validation within yourself.
Correct.
You have to believe in yourself first before anybody else can believe in you. And I go back to charisma. You know when somebody just talking and it's like, man, words. So they can be talented in talk and you like, man, there's some good words. But when somebody got the charisma, you just feel it. You know, they could just say some bubblegum shit, but you still like, man, that's some powerful shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you an example right now. All your presidents.
Right. Your presidents, your leaders, they have to have a high level of charisma to get to where they at. Void if their education. Mm-hmm. A lot of people's like, Donald Trump, dumb motherfucker. He didn't go to college. He didn't do this. He didn't do that.
I think he disrupted the whole world. The whole world.
But he had enough charisma to implement some type of emotions and energy from at least a huge group of people. Even if you wasn't in that group, you have to give them the credit for having the charisma to even attach any kind of energy from a group of people by a large number. And another thing I want to say is a lot of you motherfuckers is just too soft. You know what I'm saying? If you never lived in the real world or was raised by any kind of hard parents, you never went to the military sometimes a lot of you people are just too soft. When you go to the military, You got drill sergeants and shit like that in your face.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They doing all kind of shit to you to get you mentally tough and prepared for the goals and the purpose in which you're serving. Some of y'all are just too soft in order to succeed in life.
Mm.
And you have to keep it real with yourself. If you know you're soft, you're vulnerable, you're sensitive, people can't say nothing to you because you take offense to everything, you're privileged, whatever the case be. Why don't you work on yourself to work on those flaws? I know a lot of people that's not successful, but yet they're comfortable with their personal flaws. A lot of people be like, yo, I'm arrogant. I know I'm arrogant. Oh, okay, so what are you doing to work on your arrogance? Ah, man, I know I'm this, I'm that. Okay, so now we got step A on the table. What are we doing to work? We just gonna live with it?
Bro, I think those are like, I want to say those are kind of like defense and bragging mechanisms that people do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bet like when a woman be like, "Oh, I don't listen," I'm like,
so
what?
you're not, so you don't, and you're not even listening to yourself. You're not
Bro,
listening to yourself. Right now.
anytime a woman ever tells me she don't listen, I'll be like, "All right, I'm out." I'm out. Like, what? Like, I don't understand. Like, why do y'all expose y'all negative traits and think somebody should accept it?
SpongeBob meme. All right.
Yeah, I'm out. Like, you know what I'm saying? At first, you know what I'm saying? That's just like, oh, that's why, like, some of that shit is like, do you understand, like, people who want you to know their negative traits are also toxic? Because they don't want to work on them.
I'm letting you know what
I'm letting you know what's up, like, what's going to happen. Yeah, I'm letting you know. So you going to have to come with it.
Right.
You're going to be fucking with me. Like, nah, I'm out. That's too draining, right? Even that, like, this is the thing, like, this is why you got to know how to balance your personalities, right? My higher conscience would never let me fuck with someone on that level. My lower conscience might be entertained by that. Oh shit, you don't listen, man. Shit, bitch, I'm gonna make you listen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Though you gotta watch out for them modes, the moods you have, to where you get lured in and think you gonna change something when you really not. And that's gotta be careful. So it was something you said, man. I was gonna backdoor off it, man. You was making a lot of sense right there. But even so, like I said, you gotta pay attention to people who brag about negative things and don't brag. Oh, shout out to Malachi. Yeah, I think I said your name right. Brother that came on the show who was talking about the Bible and everything. Maliki.
God damn it. I don't even know the dude I got.
Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, he came on the show, you say he was in the military. He said, look, they break you down to build you up. Some of y'all are scared to break to get built up. I told y'all earlier, like, we go to the gym, we break down our muscles to get bigger. Yeah. You gotta take the hits. You gotta take what comes with you, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like for every scar on my body, I got a story for it. And it made me stronger. Like, hey, yeah, man, I survived this. Oh, yeah, man, this kind of scars on your body, anywhere else, just to make the progress, right? You gotta remember, some of us started off with our first apartments with no fucking furniture. Nothing.
I was on the flow.
On the floor, like, you might have a blanket and a pillow.
Yeah, that's it.
And you steady adding to it slowly as you can. Or you might have that family friend like, hey, look, we don't have this furniture. You can have it now. Hey, we got this going on. You want to have got dishes? Like, we're throwing them out. You have people contribute to you if they see you make progress. You got to take action. Some of y'all don't definitely want to start on the floor, right? I mean, look, my first place, man, I had a couch before I had a bed. I had a couch before I had the bed. That was how I was sleeping for a good little minute.
Bro, when I got my futon, I'm off the floor, baby.
I'm off the floor, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so those moments, those small progressive steps is what makes you appreciate the person you become. You gotta remember that. It always starts somewhere. Mm-hmm. But if you break down, and that's one thing somebody in my family said, man. He was like, the best part about living, you always start over. And I was like, damn, I never looked at it like that. You can lose it all and then get it back.
Mm-hmm.
Tenfold.
All right. So, one thing I got on that, I agree with everything. No questions here. Just straight flow. Some people are comfortable being toxic if it's not physical. Right?
Right.
So if you're not like literally beating the shit out of people and going to jail and doing all, you normalize your toxic bullshit. So that goes back to the, hey, I know I'm arrogant. I know I don't listen. It's like, okay, cool. You do realize that's the same energy as slapping the shit out of somebody. It's the same thing. It's just not physical.
No.
So since some people can't see the damage physically, right, by blood, scars, whatever the case, incarceration, some of y'all need to be locked up. You don't see the damage, right? Even though you can look at your personal life and tell, yo, people don't flock to you. People don't randomly start conversations with you. Your family don't even fuck with you.
Yo, son.
You feel me? But it's nothing wrong with you though. You're perfectly fine within your toxic bullshit that you can accept. Just because I'm not incarcerated, beating the shit out of somebody or whatever the case, hey, it's normalized.
Let me tell you the worst type of toxic there is.
Mm-hmm.
A person who's a victim but still toxic. That's the worst shit ever, bro.
You're never wrong.
Like, bro,
I never had a father. My mama wasn't there. You know what I'm saying?
And so all their actions is blamed on shit.
My dog died.
Man, look,
I got a story.
I know a chick. Every relationship she been in, she beat up the dude. I'm like, God damn. They always fight. I was like, bro, after a period of time, I was like, yo, this can't keep happening in every relationship. And you still blame it on the men. I was like, nah, bro. Like, you might really attract that shit. Like,
now, you know it ain't no good man out there. You know all these niggas is full of shit.
Oh, man, no, don't do that.
And you know all these females is full of shit, man. You know
man, it's been
you know how it is, man.
Yo,
I just can't find this.
Yo, man, victim toxic people are.
Yeah.
Shit, you better avoid that. You better throw holy water, sage on that motherfucker, all that shit, bro. You better avoid that. Yeah. I ain't never had nobody help me.
Alright. One of my last points is you're never too good to start over. Some people feel like just because they started at a particular point, if they have to go back and reverse to that point again, anything that reminds them of that, they're already past that, so they're too good to go back. Look, for a lot of people to get one proposition correct in business, they probably fail like over 1,000 times. Whew. You have great athletes. It's like, yo, I took 1,000 shots. I missed this many shots. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really humble yourself. First off, you have to find a circle of people, which we was talking about earlier, that I would say that's not even on your level, but more successful. Just so you can see what it really looks like and listen to the stories.
And step in an apprenticeship when we walk in there.
When I listen to great athletes, your Arnold Schwarzeneggers, your Kobe's, and all these people, your Jordans, and all these people, they have great failure within their portfolio. Prior to the success, during the success, and even after the success in ventures. 50 Cent is one of these people. You can listen to the rules and principles he implemented when he was just doing his shit illegally. He still kept those moral standards and principles and applications even throughout his career.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Transition into business.
So you have to find rules that you live by that cater to your success. You feel me? So you have to get into successful groups, successful literature, things that teach you what you lack. You have talent, you have ambition, that's cute, that's beautiful, everybody got that. Okay, now we're past that point. What is going to separate you from everybody else in your group besides what you can do physically? You have to work on your mind, what you can produce mentally and conceive mentally, just as well as physically. Now you're a complete package. It's a lot of people that's great and talented, but if the world don't put that value on you, that price tag on you, you ain't shit. I don't care what you think about yourself when you go to sleep at night. The world has to value in that same aspect to make it legit. So you're never too good to start over. My last point on that is even in weightlifting, we have this thing called, if you lift a heavy weight, even if you only get 2 reps in, you shock the body. So now you pass the plateau effect. So now you have what we call muscle memory. So now your body went through the shock of what that heavy weight felt like. So when you lift that heavy weight again, even though you only got 2 reps in, your body is already used to the shock. The shock value is out the way. So now when you become acquainted with that weight, the shock value has already been met. So now your body will respond quickly and fast to that shock because it already felt it. So you have to remember, just because you go through shock value still don't mean that you still don't struggle. Shock value does not surpass struggle. So now we got that out the way. Now you go through a little struggle, shock value, boom, bam. Now what was once heavy, not as heavy, can now be light. And lighter because you're steady starting at that same point after you incorporate the shock value of the failure and all that good shit. So, not to get too long-winded on that, I think that's a powerful conversation because we know a lot of people that can be super more successful than what they are, whether it's athletics, whatever the case be. They have great things in their mind, but they can't make it really happen. So I thought that was a very powerful conversation to build on because I don't want to be one of those people, me personally. That's my motivation. Mm-hmm. I never want to be so good at something that people remember me for, and I never really succeeded to my goals and expectations.
People hold you accountable the more you talk.
Yeah.
I already said, like, hey, look, man, my goal is to be financially independent and free. So don't ever think like,
people gonna see you still working? They gonna challenge you. You still working?
Oh shit, okay. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of shit you put on your chest by doing that. And only thing I'll say is, like, remember this: with no structure comes no reward. With no structure comes no discipline. Without structure forms no foundation. Mm-hmm. Give me a family that's together that didn't have structure. Mm-hmm. Give me a business that that was successful that didn't have structure. Mm-hmm. Give me anything in this world without structure. There's not things that are operating on a functional level. So you need to apply structure into your life. That's it for me.
All right, one last thing, man. It just hit me.
No, man, I don't want to
multitasking, man.
No, man, I want to talk, man.
Yeah, we talking. Some people have so many things on the table that they can't succeed at anything because their attention is in too many places. Mm-hmm. You have to separate your ambitions as well. It's okay to be ambitious and have goals and to dream, but if you're dreaming too much and you got too much shit in your mind, you're not going to be able to focus and dedicate yourself to one thing. Warren Buffett has the 5-25 rule, right? You know what I'm saying? Keep in mind 25 things that you want to do. Write down the top 5 and only focus on those top 5. So a lot of people don't procrastinate out of nowhere. They just don't know where to start and how to put their energy into one thing first and then the next.
Right. So I guess I'll piggyback since you want to keep
talking, man. You get paid.
So anyway, so the main thing I was going to tell you is there's 2 things that go with that, right? So we heard the Gary Vee way, like, hey, maybe you might be good at focusing on multiple things than the person focus at one time. You got to figure out what works best for you. Because I know some of us hear something from one guru, be like, all right, that's it. Let's go to this guru. No, find out what works best for you, right? And the second one I give is my boy Matthew McConaughey. Love it, man. Green light. So in this book, he said, hey, he had 5 things he was doing: family, God, production companies, acting career, and something else. He said he felt like he was making B's in all of them. So he said he got rid of 2 and focused on 3 in order to make A's. So you got to look at what you're doing and give yourself an honest grade level of what you're doing for every one of them. And whatever is not really giving you the highest performance, drop at least a couple of them and focus on the ones you really want to get off the way. And that's it.
All right, tell them what to subscribe at.
Man, Talking That Talk official podcast. And you look for me in ordinary, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because what I do ain't ordinary.